Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day.
Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My lovely name is Faulatali Habi. If you're new here, you're welcome as well. I'd like to take this opportunity to wish you all a happy new year 2024, hoping that all your dreams and wishes will come true. There's been so much that happened in the last year. I know I promised a lot, but I was not able to deliver due to unavoidable circumstances. But right now I'm back and I'm just praying that everything will just happen, accordingly. I don't want to promise too many things and then it becomes too hard on my side to deliver, but I want to assure you guys that I will always try my best to give you some good content. As usual, I'm back. So before I continue further, I'd like to thank you all for being around. Thank you for all those who checked up on me, at least to confirm how I'm doing or if there's any problem as to why I'm not posting or something. But I'm so glad that you've always been there. Like, you didn't unsubscribe while I was away. I'm so much grateful for your support this far, and I'm trying my best to deliver this year as well. So while I was away, guys, I learned a lot as a person, as an individual, as a mother, and as a wife. There are so many challenges out there that people are facing, and I'd just like to talk to my followers. There is someone this message can reach out there and it can help them. There are so many things that are happening in our world today, in our country, and sometimes you get that you have so many plans at the beginning of the year. You want to accomplish this and that and that, and somewhere in the middle or somewhere as you go along, things don't work out as you had planned, and it's just unavoidable. Sometimes it's not your fault. Sometimes, yes, you have dreams, you want to accomplish them, but they don't work out as you had planned. And sometimes you have so many things that you never even planned for, and they come to pass, surprisingly. And the things that you planned for, they don't really work out. So you feel bad, sometimes you feel good, but all in all, I just want to encourage someone out there that don't give yourself too much pressure. Just do what you can do, live a day at a time, and just be grateful for what you have. Don't pressurize yourself too much or do all these things that you want to do or achieve that you forget who you are as a person and who you are to those people who depend on you. So sometimes it's good to just take a break and talk to yourself, think about life, evaluate how far you've come. These are some of the things that I was doing while I was away, and right now I'm back more energized, and I'm hoping that this is going to be another great journey. So guys, one of the things that I was really praying for the longest time, not only last year, for the longest time, was getting married or having a wedding or something, just officializing my union. So it has been a tough journey, and sometimes when you pray for something and you don't get it for so long, sometimes you just tend to abandon it and pray for other things, or you mention it once in a while. So it came at a very unexpected moment, but it happened. So I officially got married last year, as I mentioned in my previous last video. So I would like to share my journey, my wedding journey, with all of you, so that someone can learn from, so that you may be able to learn something from it, especially if you're aspiring to cross over to this side, or you just want to get information on one or two things. You can also be of help to your friends who are also planning of the same thing. We'll also share ideas, and of course I'll get some help from my one and only. We'll be able to share our journey and how difficult it was, but it wasn't. It was difficult. Some parts were smooth, but we thank God. But we thank God that we finally made it, and it was a great success. It was more than what we had prayed for. It was more than what we aspired to get on that day, and I'm just grateful. I would also wish to just give thanks to all those who supported us during that time, because it wasn't easy. And I'm telling you, you need a great support system. You need people who can pray for you. You need people who can journey with you. You need people who can also advise you and advise you in the right way. So we had all those people by our side. And yeah, as much as it wasn't as easy, having those people made some of the things just flow nicely. And yeah, here we are. So I hope you'll be able to learn a lot from this, and please share this video as well. You might not be in need of this, but there might be a friend or other people, family, who may need such kind of information. So kindly share the video widely. Thank you so much. Now let's get into it. The wedding process is not an easy one, as most people might think. So first of all, we have our men. Ladies, come, let's talk here. Congregate here. So most of us are in relationships, but you find that most of the time the ladies, we are always ready to get married anytime. Like even if you're living with a guy, they're okay with that. But when it comes to a point of officiating the marriage, most of them are always like, I don't know, they don't like weddings, or they're scared of these things. But I know it's a long process, but for us ladies, we are always like ready most of the time. So I know it has taken so long. As much as I was praying for it, sometimes you're like, your guy is like 50-50. It's like he wants this thing, it's like he doesn't want to go to church, and officiate it in front of the altar. So it's been a tussle. So when we sat down as a couple and agreed on this, I was actually very much surprised, and I was in so much hurry, like to just speed up this process, because I was kind of thinking like, this guy might change his mind anytime. And it's not only that, sometimes you interact with people who are older than you, and people who have gone through the same process almost around the same time you want, or so when you talk, you exchange ideas, and some of them you get to hear their stories about how their husbands actually have behaved in such a manner. So you like, when you get that opportunity, when this man has agreed, you just go on and don't look back. Don't postpone. If you've agreed on something, you just try your best and do it within the shortest time possible. So for this wedding, we actually planned it in about 2.5 to 3 months. So that wasn't a long time. And it was a very, very big challenge in terms of finances and so many other things, logistics, but we'll get into that.
Sometimes you spend so much time together. You spend 2 years, 3 years. So we didn't want to spend a whole year thinking about the same time. Something you've agreed. Let's do this.
Let's just do it. And I've also had the privilege of attending like a wedding committee, I guess one. And from that experience, I just thought like, I don't want to think about this one day for like a whole year. I know people take a lot of time to plan, and it's very, very good to plan. In fact, to plan ahead or to plan for the longest time. But I just didn't want this to take up like my whole time, my mind throughout. When you're working, you're just thinking about the wedding. When you're at home, like I didn't want to go under that pressure like for a whole year. So we just decided, so long as we have agreed on this thing and we're all in our right minds, let's get through with this. Like 2.5 to 3 months. And we consulted a few people, and they told us it was possible. So we decided to believe. I'm telling you here, it was about faith. So before the wedding, of course, so we are Catholics. So before the wedding, even as you approach the father or the priest, there are some few things they will also ask you. So one of those things is dowry payment, and if the guy has ever visited our home and all that. So that was another process. The side of the men, they came to our side, they visited severally, we did an introduction ceremony, and a lot of things happened. I wasn't able to record videos during that time because it was quite a serious moment at the time. and we were all under a lot of pressure. So they did come and they paid their dues at the time. And let me say, it wasn't easy. It's usually a tough moment. They have to agree, like the wazes, like the old men from our side are giving them a difficult time. They have to negotiate and all that. So mind you, even as much as we were doing the wedding, or we did the wedding in such a short time, they had to go through all that process. So it's not like we didn't go through that. We went through all that process. They came, they paid their dues, and that's when we got the consent. We also didn't want to just do things on our own. Like, I know nowadays young people are like, acha nifanye. It's not a must for me to consult my parents, or if your parents do not agree with you, you just go and do things your own way. I'm telling you, you need your parents for so many things. They have a lot of experience, they have a lot of exposure, they know so many people who can help you in different areas that sometimes you may not be aware. So we thought, we need these parents' blessings. That is one. That is very, very important, because if parents on both sides get to agree and just give you out with one heart, I think it makes things so easy for you. And the blessings just start flowing even before the wedding. So that was one thing that we considered. Secondly, of course, as we were planning things on our own side, we were talking to our parents, and funny enough, they had so many people they knew from different areas or different sectors who could have helped us with either ideas or help us in planning some of the things. So never ever take your parents for granted. They know so much than you do. Plus, part of the experience, if maybe they also did a wedding, they might be able to know some people who might help you in different areas. So that's why we thought it was very, very important not to to cross that part. And next we went to the priest. So after we had agreed, the side of the man, they had to come to my home, and that process we were able to complete it. Thirdly, we had now to go to church and consult with the priest. So one of the questions, the first question the priest asks is about dowry. So if you've not paid the dowry, he'll tell you, no way, you just go back, make sure you do this, do that. You cannot just start this process if you've not crossed that. So at least on that part we were lucky, because we had handled it. Secondly, the priest advises us on the different kinds of weddings. For example, in a Catholic church, there are so many types. So let's say in one service, we usually call them mass. So we usually have weekly masses or weekly services. Maybe starting, for example, let me just say it starts from maybe around 7 to 8 a.m. in the morning. So that is from Monday to Friday. So when we have those weekly masses, you may decide as a couple that you don't want to incur expenses, or maybe you want to do the celebration later on. So you talk to the priest and you tell them, we have set a date on this and that day. So mind you, that is between Monday and Friday. So they will tell you, okay, if it's on a Wednesday, you come to the morning mass. So the mass will just run as usual, and then there'll be a point they will call you, they will officiate, you will exchange the wedding rings, and you're blessed, and now you're officially a couple. Yeah, so that is one of them. Secondly, there's an option of waiting for a Sunday mass or for a Sunday service. So in our area, we usually have 3 of them. One starts from 7 to 9. The other one is from 9 to around 11 a.m. And then the third one is from 11 to around 1 p.m. So you can choose one mass, but I guess they mostly give the third mass. So after the mass runs, there's a point they also call you, and then you will exchange your vows and the rings. And then after that, you're officially a couple. So for this kind of weddings, they like don't incur a lot of expenses, because sometimes you don't even need to have a bridal team, but you may choose to have them, maybe go for your photo session. But like on a normal wedding day, let's say now, for example, ours was on a Saturday. For a Saturday one, it's like the service is just yours. From the bridal team, they have to come in. Then you have the man, then the bride. Yeah. So like the whole mass is just centered around you too. It's not like the normal mass where we just do the mass and then we call you at a particular point. So that is the difference. And for a Saturday mass, you invite your friends, you invite your family, like so many people that even you've not seen in a long time. So that is the difference between all that. So we really had a very difficult time.
There's a mass wedding.
Nimefikiria mass wedding lakini nikaona
You are all a lot of people, couples.
Okay, so I'm being reminded there's also a mass wedding. Though during that time, actually last year, I think I never heard of one. They usually announce it like every year. So for a certain time period, you find that the church opens up the door for anyone who wants to get married. You just go and register your name and they'll do a mass wedding. Like that is a mass for so many people. You can come in, so many couples you want to do your wedding, so long as you just officiated there, blah blah blah. So it's usually interesting. I think we can just get a photo of that or a video to just show someone who doesn't know the idea. So you have so many different couples. Maybe you don't want to incur costs, or you have lived for so long as a couple, you have big children and you don't want to like spend too much on a wedding. So most older people prefer the mass wedding. And yeah.
There's the office wedding.
So apart from the mass wedding, there's also the office wedding, where you just go to the priest's office and he officiates the wedding. You just need like the couple plus those people who are like the witnesses, like 2 witnesses. You usually have a man and a lady, and then maybe 1 family member. Or sometimes when you just have the witnesses, you're good. So like 5 people, and that's it. So when he told us about all these options, we got confused. We got so confused because we didn't know now. First of all, like we didn't have a lot of money to have our own lavish wedding that any lady would dream of. But secondly, we just also didn't want to do something so general like a mass wedding or just an office thing where it just ends like that. No. So
I guess I can say that the father had witnessed so many people getting married. They were spending so much money and they end up being dead.
Yeah.
At times they come back to the father and they request father for money.
Actually, some even take up loans, and it gets to a point where they can't even pay back that loan. And he was just trying to reason out with us, like, you guys, you already have a child. This child maybe next year will be starting school. If you don't have all this kind of cash to do a lavish wedding, why should you stress yourself with this and that?
And also, you end up spending so much money in weddings, which you could have used to invest maybe in a business.
Yeah.
So it was just advice. He was giving us the options.
Yeah.
Which most cases you are not given.
Yeah. True.
To spend. If you have it, spend.
Yeah, he said if you have it, well and good. Buy good clothes. Do all you can do, but sometimes when you don't have it, you have so many options you can choose from, so you don't really have to strain yourself. So guys, this is just like an education as well. If you want something good and you have the cash, go for it. If you don't have and you have means or ways to go about it, well and good. But if you don't have it but you just want to officiate this thing, hey, there are so many options. Don't limit yourself. You just go. It doesn't mean that it's a bad wedding because it was a small wedding. No, you just go and do your thing. The most important thing is to officiate your union. So another thing that the priest confirms with you is the date that you have decided to do your wedding. So this is usually very, very tricky. First of all, in our case we had like around 4 dates, but we had to settle for the 4th one because there were other activities, or maybe the priest was not available, or probably he was to be in another wedding, so we had to settle for a fourth date because those other dates were occupied. So it's very, very important for you to ask for the availability of the priest before you settle for that date. And secondly, you also have to confirm with your best couple. Sometimes, people are working even on weekends. Sometimes people are traveling, maybe due to work or other stuff. So you really, really need to confirm with them if they'll be available on that date that you've settled for, especially if you're doing it within a very short period of time, so that you don't inconvenience them and you also don't inconvenience yourself. So the date is usually important also. I remember, after the date, the priest actually tells you that you have to register on eCitizen and all that. So nowadays, at least things are digitized, but you find that the older generation, like people who are maybe around our parents' age and they've decided to do their wedding around this time, most of them are not informed about eCitizen and all that. So there was a case of a woman during our time. She went and registered the date with the priest, but apparently the problem came in weeks later when she came back to church to confirm if the certificate was ready. And then she was asked, did you even apply for the eCitizen? And she was like, what is that? How do I even go about it and all that? So it's good that you be well informed before you start all these processes, so that it doesn't inconvenience you, it doesn't lead to you canceling your dates to another later date. So yeah, there's a lot to learn, and some of the things that you also need are just like basic documents. So if you're someone who doesn't have your birth certificate, kindly just start finding these documents. They're very important. They usually, maybe some people are like, I don't have one, but maybe I'll get one when I need one. But sometimes you get that you're so in a rush, you need these documents, and it takes you a longer period to acquire them. So for these basic documents, just try as much to have them. You need your birth certificate, you need your ID, and so many other details that are in the eCitizen, and they're just direct information that you can answer, not so difficult. When you're doing the registration process, like in my case, my husband was the one who did the application using his account. Yes, we were together applying those things, but using his account, he submitted the application. So immediately he submitted the application, I received a text message. And the good thing is that I had my phone by my side, because I'm one of those people who don't actually read text messages. I don't know why, but on this case, I was like very, very lucky. I know of a case of someone who had applied for this certificate and they got this message and they never responded to it. So weeks later, while they're waiting, they actually never submitted this case. They never confirmed, so it was never processed. So the message that they send you, let me just read it. It reads as follows. Okay, dear Faulata, Arnold has commenced a CHR to be solemnized at church ABCD in this and that area. If you agree, click on the link below. So they provide you with a link, and if you know this person who has submitted the application and you're willing to get married to him, you click that link and you go and confirm some few details there. So the message continues like this. If in dispute, kindly call this number. They share 2 numbers that you have to call. So if someone is submitting a marriage application for you and you don't even know who this someone is, or maybe they are forcing you to do this thing, you can just call those numbers to dispute. But otherwise, you have to click the link and go and confirm that you actually know this person and you're in agreement with whatever he's doing. So yeah, I was lucky on that day. I clicked the link, I confirmed, and the process began. And they told us to wait for a period of, is it 14 to 21 days? Yeah, something of that sort. And so we waited for those days, and while waiting, when so many people get to hear that now you want to do this wedding, so many people come with advice and the stories of their experiences. So some of them tell you like they had to wait for this and that long, they had to maybe bribe because they have waited for so long and now the wedding day is nearing and they don't have the certificate, they don't know what to do, like they're just frustrated. So we were a bit scared and skeptical because we didn't know if ours was going to come out on time. And mind you, I told you we did the planning in around 2.5 to 3 months. So that is a very, very short period of time. So we didn't want to make any mistakes, but we just submitted and we were now waiting and hoping and praying for the best. And actually it came on time. It came right on time. Yeah, and we were happy. So on my side, actually I did a mistake when entering my father's name. Like there was a misspelling, so it was just one letter, but that one letter can cost you a lot, so we had to reprint the whole application again, I guess, when it's filled. And it wasn't like easy, but it wasn't also hard. We went to like a cyber just nearby, though it was quite expensive, not like the one you get at home. So if you can avoid such simple and little mistakes, the better for you, you know. So just make sure you type in your names correctly. Make sure like your documents, all the documents, your ID and your birth certificate, your names align. So those are the basic things that they look at. So after we printed the document again, we went back and submitted it, like gave it to them personally. And now we were given like 1 week. We were told now after 1 week you come for the certificate. I don't know if it's really the certificate, but it's like a blue document that you go back and take, and then you take it to the church. It's not like the official certificate. You have to take it to the church. Now from there, the church will give you the marriage certificate on your wedding day. Yeah. So we did all that. And apparently our process was smoother because most of the people around were even surprised. How comes you got your nini so fast? How comes your certificate came out so fast without any problems? I don't know. I guess we were just trying our best. We had faith and we did our part where we could. Yeah, and prayers. So still on the registration process, there are so many things we also came to learn about. There are also different types of weddings. So there are weddings with foreigners. So it's like another whole lot of process. There are weddings that you decide to do in church, like in our case, most of our friends, I guess, they're also from church. So that's why we decided to do a church wedding. And yeah, it costs some amount that you also have to pay the church depending on which church you're attending. And apart from the church, by there you also have to pay some cash when you're doing the application process in the eCitizen. So apart from that, you'll also pay the church whatever they require to be paid. Then thirdly, there's these people who prefer to do garden weddings. By the way, on our side, I came to learn during that time that Catholics actually are not allowed to do garden weddings. I don't know if it's all or I don't know. But that's when I learned that they actually don't allow it. So when you're a Catholic, you just do the wedding in the church and then you go and do your celebrations out there later. So we also have the garden weddings. You have to pay some amount. That is, I guess, also in the eCitizen. Yeah,
Everything is online.
Everything is online. Like there's an extra cost to it. You know, like when you do the application process, maybe you're told to pay like, this is an example. It's not like what you'll exactly get in the eCitizen. Let's say, for example, they charge 500 to do the application. So when you decide to do something like a garden wedding, they charge you like another 7,200 or something on top of that. So it's good to take note of such things if you want a garden wedding. Then finally, I can't remember the other one. From a garden, church, so there's... Oh yeah, there's a wedding that you do at the AG. By the way, there was a time we actually considered to do that, and I'm so glad we didn't go through with it, because yeah, it's just another whole lot of process. But I know it's a simple process, that's why many people prefer it. But the wedding at the AG, yeah, we considered it, but I don't know. We just thought about it and all the logistics involved, and we decided to just settle for the church wedding. It worked for us better. And I guess there's also that kind of excitement when people hear that you're getting married. It's like they just want to attend. And you've also attended weddings. It's just lovely. People are always beautiful, well dressed, and like that occasion, as much as we celebrate people, we also wanted to be celebrated in that way. And yeah, no regrets, no regrets. So guys, this is what I wish to share with you today. I hope you learned something. I don't want this video to be so long and so boring, so kindly allow me to stop here for today. But kindly watch out for the next video where I'll be talking about the wedding process. Now, this is the point where I get to talk about, you know, us not having the funds and how we got to raise the funds, how we brought our friends on board, the wedding clothes, the wedding attires, our bridal team, and all that. So kindly watch out for that, because it's also another interesting part that I'm sure you don't want to miss. And also, these are ideas that you could use when you also want to plan your own wedding. So stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye bye.